I completely understand how actors want to be spoken to by a director, because I am one. And yo, guys, this industry is rough. Been at it for 15 years and it's still the same. Something's gotta give. People make it look like they're balling. No, they're just using the system in the best way possible for themselves.
He is an actor, presenter, MC, dancer, an entrepreneur, a director, innovator in the space, content creator both on short form and long form, and he's truly shaped the ecosystem and the economy of content creation.
As actors, ra complain aju. Oh, I never once thought I'd become an actor. I never once thought I'd become a content creator. Nevertheless, a couples channel content creator. At the core of it, we're just creatives, literally.
What's one thing that you see yourself potentially doing behind the scenes in the future?
Damn, son. Let's rewind a little bit.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Capable, guys. Capable is a podcast where I try to bring people who have truly done things that I derive as something that is successful, people that have touched my life and people that I've seen on the screen, off the screen, or just have had a relationship with me. Today's episode is all about Hungani Ndlovu, guys, and we're trying to see how he's been able to achieve success from a health perspective, how he's been able to find his purpose, and how he's been able to just achieve all the achievements that he's done throughout this tricky ecosystem we call content creation and the entertainment space. Hungani, my bro, how you doing?
I'm holding on, and I am breathing through.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. So I want to tell you something now. So you're aware of this. I've been trying to action out this podcast for over a year.
Yeah.
And the purpose of this podcast was for me to meet like-minded people who can truly just inspire me and help me, progress in my life. And I was hoping that as this podcast exists, it'll also help and translate into people's, visions at home.
Sure.
And month after month, I struggled to action this out. And I was like, what's happening? What's holding me back? I've got all these shows running, but this can't exist. And then last night I was at home cell and was doing praise and worship, and everyone's singing, praying in serious tongues, And I was just there no, man, I think the reason why this thing hasn't been able to be successful is because I forgot the reason, or I didn't have purpose for it to exist. And the purpose for this podcast is for God to speak through people and through the people that are in this room. So I wanted to tell you that I discovered that last night, and I really want to just make capable something that God speaks to many people through all of the guests. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming today. If you guys don't know, Hungani is someone that I've known for many, many years. He has been a mentor of mine when it comes to finances, when it comes to everything towards what I do. And even in my personal life, we'll speak about this later. But there was a season where I thought I was ready for marriage. There was a season where I thought I was ready for marriage, and Hungani had inspired me towards that thinking process. I remember I came to you and I was like, I'm so scared to do this thing. I don't know how to navigate this thing. And you helped me be in the right mindset to speak about this thing. Sure. So for those that are at home that don't know who Hungani is, he is an actor, he's a presenter, he's an MC, he's a dancer, he is an entrepreneur, he is a director, he is an innovator in the space, both on traditional media and on social media. We have seen him on our screens at home. He is currently T-Boss at Skimsam. We're going to touch on that later. And he's also an amazing content creator, both on short form and long form. We see him on YouTube, we see him on TikTok, and he's truly shaped the ecosystem and the economy of content creation. He's advised many of the top dogs on how to actually make this sustainable and make this into a real thing. So I'm very happy to have this conversation with you today.
Ooh, that is an intro and a three-chord.
I'm happy. So we were doing so much research about you, Mbali and I, and we watched so many of your interviews. And one thing that struck both Mbali and I was that you spoke about where your dancing originated from.
Sure.
To quote you, you said that you were severely bullied, and you expressed that through dancing, which then shaped and formed into acting, which made you make the decision of even traveling abroad to go and study. So I want you to put us into young Hungani's mindset at the time. How do you get the confidence to tell your parents that I want to move abroad to go study? How do you even start dancing? What gives you the passion and drive to begin acting?
That's a good place to start. Sure. Let's rewind a little bit. I think being in a position where you struggle to articulate what it is that you feel what it is that you think, your own opinion on anything, it really makes you feel like you're stuck. You know, things may happen around you. People may make decisions for you and about you, all around you, and some you may agree with, some you may not agree with. And by virtue of not feeling like you can voice your own opinion about yourself, I got to a place where that pent-up energy needed to be released because it was just getting more tense and more tense and more tense.
Yeah.
So the dancing, I grew up violent dancing. Like at home, it wasn't like a serious thing. I was just that kid, cousin, you know.
When they were saying, please come dance come
I was
dance
just
everyone.
that kid. But when I then realized that every time I finished dancing, I felt a little bit better than when I started. I started to question that, like, what is this thing? How does it work? So by the time I was like being bullied, like hectic,
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, cool, you know, let's do the psychologist thing, because that's what people say, you know, go talk to someone. And there was a psychologist at school, went to the psychologist at school. By first break, everyone I had snitched on already knew.
Okay.
Which then made the bullying even more.
So it didn't work.
So it didn't work. So then I was like, okay, so I can't talk to someone, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
And then I found cramping.
Okay.
And that helped me really take out a lot of tension in my body, and just understand better what it is that I was going through. So eventually found acting, and to have the conversation with my parents was essentially me finding a space where I felt like I had a voice.
Okay.
And I didn't want to lose that capability, because being able to voice my opinion, my thoughts, through the mechanism of dance or acting felt like, yo, this is where I want to stay.
Yeah.
This is,
I can't leave
it's
this
the creme de
spot.
la creme,
Yeah.
you know? So the conversation was a tough conversation, because, I mean, I'm the only son at home, and like any father's succession plan that has like a family business, they would want their son to continue, you know, because the daughter will probably get married into another family, you know, that type of thing. So it was a very difficult conversation, but I'm privileged and blessed to have parents who took their time to understand, and in understanding, they then supported, and in supporting, they then cheered. So beautiful. Yeah, it was tough, but we managed to get through it through them asking questions. How is this thing gonna work? What do you mean? What's the kind of life you can live? You know, all of these different things. Because for all of us, it was me basically saying, I want to be in an industry that none of us know anything about. You know, so they I appreciate them, and they took their time to understand, and I would really encourage parents to do that, because sometimes a dream is let go from a lack of not understanding.
Yeah. Nah, 100%. I want to say this film right now. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but your first film, A Murmur of Honest Voice, is that your first film? Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you gain that role? And has that film affected how your acting career has now progressed? Has that given you, you know, skills which you're applying now? Did that give you new inspirations? And we've seen that you've done some really amazing short films across the board, even on your own YouTube channel. I think it's called Love Locked, which is very poetic. So did that first film create the trajectory to get you where you are now in your acting style? Or did it have any influence at all?
I wouldn't say it created my acting style in any way, but it helped me realize that I have a space in the room. Because Memoir of an Honest Voice, I played a child soldier. And for a long time, I always thought I would never get to play a role outside of the good guy, the cute little boy, because of how I look. You know, I don't have like a scruffy, hard kind of to be playing the bad guy or anything like that. So when I got this, as much as the child soldier was, he was the good boy, but not doing the good things, you know. The film went on to be selected into some really big festivals. And then we also got nominated for the Africa Movie Academy Award. And that somehow, God is just amazing. I was coming back to South Africa. So we shot that in LA, and I was coming back to South Africa because my permit had expired. But those awards for that year, 2015, were happening in South Africa.
You guys won it, no?
So we didn't win.
Didn't win it.
But I was in the room hoping that we would win.
Yeah.
And I was seeing directors, actors that are within the continent that I've watched, you know, Abo Yuwashenwe, you know, Mr. Ibu, you know, Donovan Marsh, who's a phenomenal director in South Africa.
I'm sure that made the dream tangible.
Yeah,
you're seeing
like I'm in the room, bro.
Yeah.
I'm able to speak to these people. I can greet them, and there's no like difference of hierarchy because we're all in the same room. If you're in the room, you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, so it really gave me that, if I can say, stamp of surety that, okay, cool, like you actually can do this thing.
I think that's one thing that's very important when it comes to wanting to do any task, is putting yourself in the room and making it seem tangible. Because there's so much inspiration that can grow from being in a room of like-minded people.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you were in a space where you're with like-minded people at a high level, and that showed you that you're capable.
And you realize that, like, we're really not different.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they've managed to get to that point through experience and trial and error and continuously doing this thing. Some are there because they've managed to get more accolades or whatever the case is. But at the core of it, we're just creatives.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Speaking about being creatives, I view you as a director, a producer, an editor. You do everything.
I don't want editing anymore. Take it away.
But I view you taking all these roles. But I'm curious, being in front of the screen, what's one thing that you see yourself potentially doing behind the scenes in the future? Do you see yourself as a director, as a producer, or would you want to just stay in front of the screen?
I definitely think there's still a long way for me to go when it comes to on-screen work.
Yeah.
Whether small screen, big screen, even stage work, to be honest. But I love directing. There's I think it comes also from like my teaching side, because like I really love teaching.
Yeah.
So the directing part of it is like being able to have an idea, a concept that we can partner with whether it's the actors or whoever it is that I'm working with, to see that thing come to life, and we both understand what the vision is, what the goal is, and we all take the steps to climb up the ladder. For me, it's such a beautiful thing. So, and I think because I've been on the backup dancer side, the background actor side, to the supporting actor, to the lead actor, there's a lot of nuances that I feel like directors who haven't experienced all of those different aspects in the creative kind of like space don't have. You know, like I completely understand how actors want to be spoken to by a director, because I am one.
Yeah.
You know, so to be able to do those kind of things, I mean, I did a thing recently with about 20 dancers, and not one dancer had a complaint. Every single person was like, they've never had a gig that has been so dancer focused. Because I've been a dancer, and I know what it is that I would want as a dancer if I'm working with a creative director or a choreographer for whatever show. So giving them that experience, now they're like, oh my gosh, so it is doable. Now the next time you go and you work with another person, you're like, yeah, but they by Hungani Ndlovu, yeah, we're the focus, because
he understands us.
You know, he understands. Yes.
I feel like that's such an important trait to have as a leader,
100%.
because you've walked all of the parts from being behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. You know how to take care of people, and we even see this. We even see you doing this with the South African Guild of Actors. You being a part of that. I'm so curious. What has made you so selfless to want to help so many communities? Because you and I have had conversations, and you, I think first and foremost, are within the acting space, and then you transition into the creative space and the social media space. And we see you a part of the South African Guild of Actors, but also trying to make some phenomenal things within the content creation space to make it sustainable and fair for us. What fuels that inside of you?
I'm part of the community. Like, someone's got to do it. You know, we all talk about this stuff. You know, if it's not the two of us, it's you and somebody else. If it's not us, then it's at a content creators connect. We
Which you've been to
always
so
talk
many
about
of.
these things, you
Yeah.
know, and everyone's got the same complaints, whether it's contracts with brand deals, all of these different stuff. And it's like, when do we then action what it is that we're talking about? As actors, ra complain aju. Oh, if it's not food on set, it's there's no toilets, there's no drinking water, there's so many different things. Forget the contracts, that's a whole other thing. So for me, it's like, I can either be a part of the group that's constantly got the problems on a list and ready to go, or I can be part of that group and also part of the solution. Because the solution is not going to bring itself. Someone's going to have to sacrifice in order for that to happen. And I mean, we are living in such a great time because other people sacrificed.
True.
We celebrate our uprising, June 16, and all of these different moments that have happened in history that have led to us being able to do what we do today with the freedom that we have today.
100%.
As much as we can still complain about all of these different things, Oksalayo, there were people who sacrificed to the death in order for things to change. So now, aluta continua, as they say.
And then, is there no fear in being, in the forefront of change? Because when you're in the forefront of change, brands, agencies, different acting people can view you and be like, yo, Hungani, he's going to come here and demand what he deserves, but he's going to come with demands. Is there no fear in that?
I don't fear that because, like, my work doesn't come from the brands. You said it right at the beginning about God. God is my provider, and if I'm supposed to work with House of Rampedi, I'm going to work with House of Rampedi. If I'm not supposed to work with them, I'm not going to work with them, regardless of what it is that I do in my advocacy work. Because at no turn am I saying House of Rampedi must shut down. All I'm saying is, can we see each other for who we are and our contribution, and that's it. Let's just be fair. And if you're a brand that is not wanting to work with me because I'm looking for fairness, then
but then we don't know.
So and I think like a lot of people are afraid of that. People will rather not stand up or rather not speak or rather not say anything or engage because they're like, hey, but I'm going to lose the bag. And it's like, but who's lost the bag before for saying that I just want things to be fair? People lose the bag when they start pointing fingers and they say, yeah, but House of Rampedi didn't pay me for 6 months. And then Thato, who's the CEO, he went and he bought a Porsche and then he bought a big house at Stainsea. That's how you then stop losing work. But if I'm just saying, yo, guys, this industry is rough. Been at it for 15 years and it's still the same, something's got to give.
I hear you. Like I mentioned earlier, we've seen you put on so many caps. You've been the dancer. You've transitioned to the actor. You were the what did you call it? Background dancer.
Background dancer. Background actor.
Background actor. Then you were lead role.
Yeah.
You're forever evolving. And I feel like as beings, we're so scared of change, and we never know which direction to go into. You are showing us that day by day, change is inevitable and it has to happen. But how do you know which direction to go into? Because I've seen you as a YouTuber, I've seen you as a couple channel, I've seen you as a podcaster now. Like, how do you know which direction to go to?
It's a good question you're asking, Thato. To be honest, I think change is like the only constant thing in life, and I would be remiss to try and not embody that because it's bound to happen in some way, shape, or form. When it comes to knowing the direction, genuinely, I don't know. I really don't know. I am not afraid to try something and fail. That's like the honest truth. And I think that comes from seeing my father in entrepreneurship and trying something, starting something. It looks like it's going to be successful, and then it drops. But then, he's sad for a day, and then he's back on it, and he's trying something else.
And he keeps moving.
So I think because that was, what's it called? Like I saw it. I literally saw it
multiple case studies.
Many times, you know, from having the finest BMW in the garage to then
To something
1400, you know.
Yeah.
So I think having seen all of that, like, and understanding that, like, that's the journey of life. You know, it's got its peaks and its valleys, and when you understand that you can be at the mountaintop and then you can also be at the valley and then back at the mountaintop, then you don't get fazed by the fact that I can start from the bottom again with something. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, it's the very same way people who invest into businesses. Yeah, there's metrics that they have in place, you know, cool, if I give you 3 million, I want 10%, and then the projected ROI is what in 10 years and whatnot. Hey, Baba, you don't know that COVID is coming in 2 years.
Yeah, true.
You know, and then you hit rock bottom and it's like, all right, well, we didn't see that coming. Does that mean now we stop investing in new businesses? No. Yeah. You know, so I think it's just the ability to understand that for me, I know that when I'm currently in a particular space like dance, I never once thought I'd become an actor through dance.
Yeah.
Then I became an actor. Then from acting, I never once thought I'd become a content creator, nevertheless a couples channel content creator. Then that happened. And these are all are things that just come up through continuously growing in whatever space I'm in. Then it's like, yeah, but what else can we do?
Yeah, what else is there to do?
Maybe if we try, and then you research and you do your things, you do your homework, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, here you are, House of Rampedi.
Yeah.
When you first started, yeah, cool, it may have been the dream, but you had no idea how you would get here.
100%.
You get what I mean? But now you're here, you've got how many shows that are running it. Like, these are things that as you're going, it's like, okay, cool. From a business perspective, if we have 6 shows, it's going to help us do one more. Okay, so what are those 6 shows?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have a thing to deal with 6 shows if you didn't have House of Rampedi. You get what I mean?
I hear what you're saying.
So, yeah.
I think what you're saying is so profound. I think I really like the fact that you said, like, the only consistent thing is change.
100%.
And I feel like if we just navigate change in a way that we understand it, that it's always going to be there, we'll be able to evolve.
Bro, 4 years ago, was it 4?
What were you and I doing 4 years ago?
We were all wearing masks.
Yeah.
Do you understand how crazy that is?
Even our content style was so different because we were both on YouTube creating long formatted content.
Now we're TikToking.
Now we're busy making TikTok dancing.
You know?
True, yeah.
And we continuously adapt. So it's like we are already doing it.
Yeah.
So why do you think you can't do it in a professional sense or a career sense?
100%. So with Capable and the life that I see for, not just for myself, but for my team and everyone around me, the purpose is to meet people like you and have these conversations where we can be uncomfortable and discover things about ourselves. So I just want to say thank you for that. And speaking about being uncomfortable, I'm curious with you, what's one thing that you are currently interrogating or questioning within yourself in this season?
Damn, son. Wow, that's a very, very good question. I would say redefining my identity.
Okay.
My identity for some time now has been so much fixated on me being a husband.
Okay.
Me being a father, me being the family guy. And there's a beautiful part to that, the selflessness and all of that and whatever else that comes with that. But there's also, what would it be like if all of that wasn't there? Would my dreams still be the same? Would my goals still be the same? And obviously things adjust because the child must be taken care of. The roof must be made sure it's there so that the family can sleep under a roof, all of those things. I'm not negating that. But it's just like, are my dreams and the things that I want to achieve currently right now, things that I, Hungani, actually want to achieve, or are they byproducts of the fact that my life is now a certain way? So it's a challenge because one will say that's very selfish of you, you know, why would you wanna, and what does that look like practically, you know, yeah, like for example, I wanted to start a DJing career. COVID happened and I picked up DJing and I was like, as soon as the doors opened, by like geek guide, I'm inside.
I even saw you performing at that Red Bull event.
You see, so that was the goal. And then as soon as our daughter arrived, I was like, hey, I can't be out of the house. I'm in PTA, I'm in Klerksdorp, I'm on the road, court.
I want us to go a little bit into finances now.
Yes,
so I'm aware that you have a home, and that's something that I definitely aspire to doing. I've really focused on the business aspect of my life right now because I'm a single man. So I can focus on the business. That's my baby. And I've got this studio, and I'm currently, paying studio rent, and I have ambitions of having a house.
Sure.
So I want to know, what was some things you were thinking before you got that first home? Like, how did you financially position yourself towards achieving that?
Hey man, honestly, God moved like miraculously when it comes to this, because it happened at a time where I wasn't even thinking of trying to get a house.
Okay.
So we were staying in Rudaport at an apartment that my wife owns, and she had bought that apartment like maybe 2 years or so before we got married. So like, easy conversation. Let's go there. Like, we don't need to, hey, now you're married, go buy a house. No, let's just go there. It's already there. And then it was too far from work and stuff. So like petrol was chowing and mileage was just going up on the cars. So then it was like, okay, we need to move a little closer to work. And at the time, there was a couple that we worked with, and they were relocating or immigrating or whatever, moving to another country. So they were struggling to get buyers.
Okay.
So they're like, hey, let me come see this place. Maybe one to a person will, went and saw the place, and I was like, oh, damn.
This is nice.
What deal can you give a brother? And then because they were in a tight situation and they were leaving very soon and they had struggled to sell it, the price just kept on dropping. And then it got to a point where it was like, it would be silly to not put an offer.
Yeah.
Because you won't get a house like this for a price like this anyway. So it came to us. Like we didn't plan and strategize with financial advisors. Okay, if we put out 1.5 every month for the next what in this kind of account, tax-free savings, in a couple of years, then it didn't work out like that. It literally came to us and we're like, okay, cool. Do we think we can afford the monthly repayment? Yeah. Okay, then let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, but we still have the one in Rudaport. Should we sell or get tenants? Hey, Pella, the life of tenants is another thing.
It's also,
people don't speak about that. Yeah, hey.
People don't speak about that. Like, investing in property is beautiful, but do you have the
tenant life? You just pray that you get good tenants, man.
Yeah.
So it just came to us. It honestly was a God-given blessing.
Amen. And then speak to me about money habits. I'm sure you've got some great money habits now. What are some money habits you wish you had back then that you have now being a 30-year-old man?
I wish I saved more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like small things, man. The Air Force One, all of these seemingly small amounts that accumulate, because you're not budgeting. You don't have a budget for takeouts. So today it's a party 16, tomorrow it's but then at the end of the month it's like, oh, I spent 4,500 on takeouts. Damn.
Yeah. How did I get there?
Because it's a 50 rand here, it's a 80 rand there, it's a small amounts, but because it then accumulates, then you realize that actually you're spending very frivolously.
Yeah.
So I wish I saved more because, you walk past a shop and then sale 30% off. Now you're going and say, bro, you didn't even go there looking for that. You were going to the hardware store because you needed stuff for the studio.
Now marketing got you. You saw sale.
Exactly. Now you're spending 1,000, 2,000, and it's like, because it's there and you're thinking, oh, but it's not that much in the greater scheme of things. But then when it accumulates,
it really does.
It has a huge impact. So I think saving more and also utilizing the systems that the banks provide.
Okay.
where you can get cash back, or you can earn whatever points and you can buy flights through those points, all of these things. It's almost like, hey, we keep naming things, but I can't without an example. Like, for example, Discovery and Vitality.
Yeah.
Very
powerful.
When you use it the way it's meant to be used, like
Petrol?
bro.
If you pour at the
Like,
engine,
you get me.
there's an
So
impact.
yeah, so it's stuff like that, and getting your 25% off on all of these different things. Then if you're a person what the Apple Watch and whatever, there's all of these different ways to get these things, and people make it look like they're balling. No, they're just using the system in the best way possible for themselves.
Yeah, I feel like you're bringing in two very important points there. One, we need to start looking at our finances and blow them up month to month and see where our money is going.
Yeah.
Because us just paying the 50 rands there, the 100 rands there, we're not aware of what's being spent and aware of the cuts that can happen.
Yeah.
And then even the second thing, I really like the fact that like looking at programs and things that can really impact us, like Vitality. I feel like for me, I pour petrol using my F&B card, and I'm a part of Vitality, and there's so much benefit towards that. It pays for my banking fees. So I definitely agree with you. I think those are things that can really help you in the long-term run.
And it's information that's there. It's just taking that initiative to look for it.
Yeah.
For me, like, I'm lazy to read through like all of those documents of these different organizations. So I just go into a branch. Like, yo,
Tell me
something. What's going on? You say that I see this thing, wealth, what are the benefits?
Yeah.
Because I got a call and the guy was saying I'm pre-approved for what. I don't answer those ones. So tell me now, what is it? Let me understand. Open my accounts. Let me see how it would work. What's the actual benefit? Then this person sits you down. They go through it. Then they ask you, okay, how much data do you spend? Wow. Oh, okay. So you see, if you did this, then you came. Then you're like,
you've just saved me 7,000 rand, 3,000 rand.
And that way you're able to ask questions on it, because sometimes when you're reading the stuff, it's confusing. It's words that you're not used to and whatever. So just taking the time to be like, let me go queue, sit there, get my little sleep. I'm number 37, and then they'll call me up, and then you get the information that you need. Because at the end of the day, like, there are ways to make things work for you in the best way possible, regardless of what level you are at from a financial bracket.
100%.
But now you want to also eat out when Thato eats out.
Come on.
I can't help you.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the pillars of this podcast is centered around helping young men. And we're going to be doing this through having men as guests, but also women. And
interesting.
One thing... it's going to be a nice one to navigate. Also women. And one thing that a lot of men said that they struggle with, because I made a poll a few months back, was sustainability. And they spoke a lot about finances. So I wanted to know from you, what financial habits do you have which are allowing you to have sustainability within your finances as a husband, as a father, as a homeowner?
I don't sleep. But jokes aside, you have to have people who know more than you that you can speak to. I'm lucky and blessed to have my sister and my brother-in-law who are both in the financial wealth management kind of side of industries. So having had conversations with them, I'm still not even doing majority of the stuff that they've advised. I'm just doing but a few.
Yeah.
So having had conversations with them, it's been enlightening to know that, there are systems that can help you grow your money and get your money to work for you. So that's been one of the ways. Another way is my wife. She's very to the cent kind of person.
I need that.
So, okay, these are the debit orders, fine. So outside of the debit orders, this is how much is left. What are we spending on this? What are we spending on that? Okay, yeki tithe, yeki savings, yeki the holidays. So being able to have somebody else also who's like, why'd you buy another pair of sneakers, bro? Where did that money come from?
Yeah.
Show me where it came from. You want another camera?
Yeah.
Where must it come from?
Because now you're pulling from this.
Show me where it must come from.
Because there's a system.
I'm not saying we can't have it. we can build towards it, but you can't just jiggy, now you have a new lens. Like, what do you mean? Let's talk about it. Yeah. So I think having also someone that can hold you accountable, if you're someone who, like, I love equipment. And if there's a new something that makes it easier for me to shoot, best believe I'm going to get it. But even now, like, I've held back on so many things I would have loved to get over time. And it's great that I did that with the help of her, because now we're bond free. You know, so if I had gotten all the stuff that I wanted to get when I wanted to get them, we'd still be paying a bond. Yeah. You get me? So it's like some things you can't do by yourself. Yeah. You have to have someone who's looking over your shoulder who can say, okay, yeah, but that's not a good decision.
Yeah. Speaking about, you know, having your partner help you in that aspect, how did you find someone who you're willing to dedicate your life towards? What characteristics were you looking at, or what were you just thinking about before you decided to make your wife your girlfriend and then your fiance and then into your wife?
So,
like what you spoke about now, is the fact that she's money savvy, was that a requirement?
I didn't know.
Or was that a blessing? Yeah.
That came in wifehood.
In wifehood,
yeah. Girlfriendhood. What are you telling me? You know, so I think it was being able to see that I can see eye to eye with this person, that we're able to share visions and goals on what we would like life to look like. Yeah. You know, we share faith, and that we both have our best interests at heart. You know, and once we started dating and stuff, and then it was very clear that, no, like, she's down for me and I'm down for her. Yeah. You know? And how do we then solidify that and keep it moving for the next phase of what our life will be? So then you start to bring up these conversations of marriage into your lunch dates and your dinner dates. Okay, so if we're ever to get married, where do you want to stay? You know, are you South Africa bound? You find to go to Canada? You know,
very important questions.
Yeah, you know. So those are the kind of things. Then you start having like, okay, cool. No, she's open to this, or I'm not open to some of her stuff. You know. Then you start having these discussions. Then eventually it's like, okay, cool. Do you have any timelines? Are you trying to get married now? Like, you know, 2 years from now? Is there something you still want to achieve by yourself? Yeah. You know. So then you have that, and then eventually like, okay, cool. Then you come to an agreement. Okay, sharp. No, it's gonna happen in the next whatever. Yeah. Whether you stick to that timeline or you do it sooner or you do it later, yeah, whatever. But it's just making sure you have the various conversations that you need to have. But at the end of the day, again, we're constantly growing. So some things that you may have agreed to and you may have felt is your preference and all that kind of stuff now, a year or two from now, that might change based off experience, or just based off you were 28 and now you're 30 and now you feel different about it. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I mean, when I came into my third floor, it was hectic. Yeah. Like, I felt like I was going through a midlife crisis.
I can relate to you because I think as soon as I turned 28 in March, I never used to really worry about age post 25. Now 28, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm turning 29 soon, which means I'm turning 30 soon. And I'm single, and I don't have a home, and I don't have much to my name outside of my business, you know? And I feel like many men are thinking about that consistently. Yeah. So how was it like when you hit your third floor?
Oh, it was very tough, man, because I didn't know that I was having these thoughts because of, like, preconceived notions of what my 30 should look like, or the milestones that I had set back then that are subconsciously is now coming back, and it's like, yeah, but you haven't achieved this, you haven't done that, you're not driving that car, you're not this. It is only after really interrogating it, and it was like a really, really bad season for me. And it's only after interrogating it through therapy that it's like, I put the bar so high for myself that even the many things that I've come to achieve, I didn't even see it as like, oh man, you're doing good. And like, these are some of the things that you had on your list. Yeah. But because it was like below 10, it's not the top 10 things. Yeah. Now it feels like it's null and void and it doesn't even exist.
Which isn't the case.
Which is not the case. Like when you actually turn around and look at the things that you've achieved, it's like, bro.
And your impact.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's only now that I'm really starting to embrace the stuff that I worked hard to achieve and the blessings that God has bestowed over my life and the favor that I have. Like God's favor is crazy in my life, bro. Like it's actually scary sometimes to think that there are things that I've managed to, like winning Tropica. Bro, that's insane.
Huge. Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
and I really loved seeing all your social media around that. That was really nice to see.
It's crazy. So yeah, coming to 30 was definitely a difficult one for me, but I'm grateful that I found a therapist who could help me get to the bottom of it, because I couldn't even discuss it with my wife because I didn't know what I need to discuss. I just felt that something is not connecting, something feels off, and I don't know, must I go on a trip somewhere? People do, what are these things? Ayahuasca and whatever, do I need to go on a retreat? Yeah. So yeah, I think for anyone that is gearing up to these milestone ages, 20, 30, 40, 50, you're actually doing good. Regardless of what your list is, you're doing good because you're doing the best that you can do under the circumstances that you're provided with. And that's all you need to do. Like, if I was in an industry that is regulated, for example, and as an actor, I was earning royalties and whatever.
Oh man, you'd be driving an Mpho.
I probably wouldn't even be sitting here.
We'd be in the UK.
Do you get what I mean? Like it would be a completely different thing. But 100%. Because of the circumstances that I find myself in, I've done pretty well.
I think it's so powerful to understand that, and to also understand the power of your subconscious. And from what you've said, I've heard that you've been able to unpack that through therapy. Yeah. And I urge everybody at home to unpack their subconscious, whether it's through prayer, through themselves. It's difficult, man.
Like, it's a warehouse of boxes.
Yeah. I remember when I used to journal a few years back, every time I journaled, I used to cry. And it's so painful because you write down how you feel. Yeah. When you give yourself the opportunity to say what you feel and write it down, you're even surprised how you feel. And then it's hard to continue. So if you're going to go through journaling, I think don't be scared to push through that pain. Yeah. If you're going to try therapy, I think don't be scared to push through that pain, because you have to live that pain to, improve your understanding, so you can have this perspective of, guys, I'm actually in an environment where I'm doing amazing, but if I had to put myself or compare myself to my counterparts in America, it's not my fault. Sure. It's my environment.
100%.
And how do I then now, bridge through that?
It's like Michael B. Jordan said that Denzel Washington told him to not be easily accessible, not to do too many interviews, be quiet and let people. The actual thing was, why would people pay to see you if they see you all the time? Okay. That's the quote. And my thing is that's a beautiful quote. I get it. Yeah, that thing doesn't work.
It's not the case.
If I don't have a social media presence, if I'm not doing podcasts and interviews and news articles and whatever, they forget about you.
100%. And I feel like it's because there's been such a big shift in the way content is being consumed. Back then, it was heavily focused on going to the cinema,
100%.
Paying for a ticket, you know what I'm saying, renting out. Now it's like everything is on my device. Yeah. So if everyone's consistently scrolling, they need to see me when they're scrolling through the form of everything that you've mentioned.
100%.
Yeah. I feel like we've touched so much on all the things that you do, but one thing that keeps ringing in the back of my head is burnout. And I want to know, because you've been in the industry, all these different industries over such a long period of time, what are you practicing consistently to prevent burnout and to prevent you not viewing your cup as full?
For me, hey Thato, burnout is, in a very not so great way, burnout is my friend.
Okay.
Because for a long time until now, I've struggled to delegate. I've struggled to build a team. I've struggled to be able to see people's potential and work with that and groom them to whatever I need them to be. So because of that, I'll get someone, but I very quickly come back to self and doing everything. It's not a good thing. So the reason why I say burnout is my friend is because I now know the signs of burnout from afar.
You can see it.
So as soon as I see, like the first sign is my left eye twitches.
Okay.
The minute my left eye starts to twitch,
You know, the body's
I
not
know
okay.
we need to now slow down. If it's not that, it's my sleep pattern. The minute my sleep patterns are off, completely, like now, hey, it's coming close. It's coming close. Then I know, cool, we need to slow down. So there's different markers that I now have that I'm like, okay, cool. If I don't slow down, I'm going to get to burnout and it's going to be worse. But in the same breath, I'm through therapy, trying to figure out what is this thing that has me holding on for dear life and struggling to release responsibility to other people.
Yeah.
And it's okay if whatever they do is not to my satisfaction. So, yeah, it's hard when you've worked so hard to build something up to a certain point and now you realize to get this thing to go further than where it's at, you need people. You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
And you look at anybody, whether it's the Diary of a CEO, all of these different podcasts and businesses that continue to scale, there's a massive team behind it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I think you could probably answer that question better than me because you already have somewhat of a team that you're building. It might not be the ideal team that you want and have envisioned in your mind, but at the end of the day, there's people in here right now that have helped make what's happening happen. If it was me, I would have been the one who pressed record and then quickly ran and come and sat down.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, but I think you touched on it. I think it's the power of delegation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in short, I have a question from Mbali here actually.
Hectic.
So
Hey, I
she's a
must
part
meet
of-
Mbali.
Yeah. So she's a part of she's my creative director across
Yeah.
the whole network.
We know who does.
So she says, what risks are you willing to take to stay innovative in your creative field, and what's next for Hungani?
I'm willing to take risks that stretch my boundaries and capabilities as a creative. I hopped into a project this year in Feb that was a stage play at Theatre on the Square in Sandton. There was no dialogue and it was solely just dance. At first I was like, hey, I don't know if I want to put my name behind this thing, but I feel like this thing could be something big.
Massive, yeah.
And I took the plunge, and I'm so grateful that I took the plunge. We had 11 shows, every single show standing ovation. The critics, the reviews, amazing. And now there's prospects of us going overseas with the show. But that initial looking at all of the different aspects of this show, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know. But there's something that's telling me that this is a good thing to get involved in. Those are the kind of risks that I'm looking at. And what's next for me is in line with that. Like, I want to be involved in projects that are not conventional.
Yeah.
Projects that provide a new way in which we consume what is it when we talk about creativity. You know, having a theater production in a space where you're expecting to experience a traditional play and people are acting and talking, there's dialogue, there's monologues. In that same environment, you can have the very same story told but without words. because then it leaves room for the audience to engage and have their own interpretation, their imagination, and it's stimulating. You know, that's what's next for me. Like, I want to be a part of projects like that. Right now, there's I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but there's a short film that we're working on, and I'm not working on it. I've been asked to work on it. But even being a part of this is like, I've never worked with these people before. So whether it will flop or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But reading the story and speaking to the director and the type of direction and the way that they want to shoot this thing and all of these different things, it's like, whoa, okay, I like that. Let's see.
Let's see what can happen.
You know, so yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah. My final question to you. If happiness was a dish, which ingredients do you think you're lacking or missing?
Ooh, if happiness was a dish. I think I'm missing the final sprinkle of something, whether it's salt or black pepper, to have that, like, it's complete. Because again, bro, like, I'm so blessed, man. Like, it would be remiss for me to not even acknowledge that. But because of the internal conflict and challenges that I'm dealing with, it's hard to taste the completion of what is currently on my plate. So I think that final sprinkle that just makes everything come together is what's missing.
Yeah.
Because the dish is there.
It's there. The ingredients are there. Yeah, I hear you. Thank you so much for coming on to Capable.
Thank you, man.
I think this is a very amazing first episode.
This is nice.
I'm happy that I had a friend here, someone I look up to, and I just want to say thank you. And may God bless everything you're doing, and may He continue giving you His favor. I also want to say from my side, you have really been someone who has helped so many of us. I think without you walking the path you've walked, we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be able to have inspiration watching you, nor would we have the knowledge and the wisdom to action out what we're doing now. So you existing is making us byproducts of you, and I think you can see it continuously going. So you're truly pouring into the creator economy, and I think myself, my team, everyone that I work with, we're truly grateful to have someone like you. So thank you for coming on to Capable, and yeah, it's been amazing.
Thank you. This was lovely, and I don't take your words for granted. I appreciate that.
Thank you. So there's one thing we want to do. So we got this from another podcast. I want you to write down a question for the next guest.
Even me, I'm doing it in my podcast.
Perfect.
Yes, go.
Yeah, so I threw a book on the floor here, Ruby. You know what it is?
Oh, that's awesome. This was lovely.
Yeah. So I want you to write a question. I didn't even know who the next guest is. I think it might be Brendan.
Praise.
Yeah. He's just a bit busy.
Of course.
This week. He says he's struggling to even take his kids to school, man.
New album things.
New album, the coffee shop.
Oh, yeah. What's a Sunday?
Yeah. So you can use any page.
Okay. Let's use this one.
Is that a pencil or a pen?
It's a pencil.
Can we grab a pen on the table?
Yeah, Ruby's going to erase my question and write her own thing. Jokes. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I write like a doctor.
Nah, all of us.
But
we're creatives.
I think you'll be able to read it.
Yeah, no, perfect. I'll read it actually for the first time on the next episode.
Okay, cool.
So thank you. So you guys want to see the question Hungani's written, please do subscribe, guys. And we will see the question he has posed to the next guest. This has been Capable at home. Don't forget, you are capable. And with taking a step every single day, you can truly achieve balance and success in your life. Thank you.